Hey guys, and welcome back to the Geeks of the Multiverse podcast. I am your host, Brandon, and as always, I am joined by my co host, Will.
Hey guys.
So, it's safe to say it's been an interesting couple of weeks on the channel. It has been a while since we've recorded a podcast. To no fault of our own, I must say, but still, I haven't talked to you in quite a while because Discord was playing up. So, what have you been up to, Will?
Yeah,
What's been
man,
going
it
on?
has been a long time. Well, I've just been streaming on Twitch. Go and follow it if you want to. It's in the description. So if
Cheeky
you go on
life.
the description and go in the what is it? What is the thing called? What is the thing called?
Linktree. I think it's called Linktree, right?
Oh yes, the link tree. There's mine and there's Brandon. So if you're interested in anything else we're doing, go check that out. That's in the description, and it's got a link to all of our stuff that you can follow us on, including the Twitter and my Twitch and whatever else. So, what have you been up to?
I've been watching a lot of TV, mate. I've been watching a lot of TV. I got hooked on Stranger Things for like 3 days straight. Just didn't leave my room.
Ah, fair
Pulling a
enough.
bit of a will.
Ah, yes, yes.
And now I've started the Good Place because I've heard good things about the Good Place. And
Ah,
yeah, I thought I might as well check it out.
not something I've really delved into. I like. It would seem that Stranger Things would be like my kind of thing, but I've just never really watched it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it until like really recently. Like everyone was always kind of like, "Oh yeah, Stranger Things, it's the greatest thing ever," and I'm kind of like, "Well, yeah, that's kind of cool," but I'm probably just not gonna bother checking it out. But
Hmm.
I checked it out. But like from the very first episode, I was like, okay, I'm invested. So now I'm kind of like with everyone else in the same boat where I'm just waiting for the next season.
Ah, well, I would watch it if I even had Netflix anymore, but I completely got rid of it to get Disney Plus. And actually, this tangents pretty well into what we're going to be talking about first, which
Oh,
is
cheeky little segue.
Black Widow, which the possibility, or is it? Have they confirmed it now that it's not going to be on Disney Plus?
It's anyone's guess. I think what they'll do is they'll pull a Wonder Woman 1984 and announce it really late into the game if it isn't coming day and date. But who knows? It's anyone's guess, really.
Yeah, it's like they had it with Mulan. That was like you could pay a bit
Yes.
to get it on Disney Plus, like, and Wonder Woman as well. That was it on HBO?
Yeah, it was the streaming service
Yeah,
that
HBO
not that I
Max.
would buy because I've got enough streaming services as it is, but the streaming service we can't access.
Yeah,
So that's wonderful. Thanks for that, HBO.
yeah, and the Snyder Cut is coming out in like a month on that. When can we even like get it?
Well, if HBO are going to be dumb enough to not release it worldwide, um, then I'm just going to have to pirate it straight up.
Oh,
I mean, I think that's a lot of people's mentality. Like, we can't access this, so what do you expect us to do?
exactly. It's like, and if it's the same for Black Widow as Wonder Woman as well, people, I guess people really want to watch this stuff, and there's no real access to cinemas at the moment, is there? Well, not in the
No,
UK anyway. I'm not entirely educated on what's happening in America with the cinemas. I'm
I don't
assuming,
think it's great, and I don't think a lot of people are willing to go.
yeah, unless they're complete idiots. And yeah, I'm not gonna tangent onto like all that stuff. You can make your own mind up about what's happening in the world at the moment. But if if it's gonna be on Disney Plus, then I think they'll make more money than they expect for cinemas to make. But again, it won't be the same experience, will it?
Well, no, this is the thing, and this is something I kind of dived into it in my "What's the Verdict" Wonder Woman video, where yes, I bigged the movie up a little bit more than deserved, but I will say a big part of cinema, of the cinema experience, is the key part of cinema. You can't, that's the huge part, and that's the huge experience. So I say don't deprive people of that if they really want to go. If they want to put their lives at risk, sure, let them go. If I could, I probably would. But, you know, you should also give them the option for Disney Plus because day and date it works. It gives people the option.
Yeah.
And although I don't think they released the numbers for Mulan, I hear it did well. So, I mean, I don't see quite what the problem is. Whether it's like more of a Kevin Feige thing that's stopping it, I don't know. But I mean, let's face it, this is Black Widow. This movie is already in a lot of people's rearview mirrors.
It's not really an
So,
MCU film that people are like, oh, I really want to see Black Widow. Like,
especially not a year later,
yes.
when like everyone's mind is now on like, oh, so what's happening with the Wandavision thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so what's happening with the Spider-Man thing? Like, to be honest, people don't really know what's happening with any MCU movies coming out this year. I mean, you got Black Widow, which people don't really care about, apart from me. And then you've got, like, Shang-Chi, which people don't know about, and Eternals, which people don't know exist. So, MCU, you need to start, Marvel Studios, you need to start, like, promoting your films and getting Shang-Chi on that promotion train.
Yeah, like, there's been, like, and one announcement for this stuff. I think there's been like, it was that one thing where they revealed, oh, this is Eternals, this is your cast. There's not even been a trailer for half of this stuff, and it's coming out this year. So who
I
who knows
mean,
when this stuff's happening?
when was Black Widow? The Black Widow trailer, I think, was what, November of. I think it might have been December of 2019, right? And that movie was supposed to come out in May.
Yeah,
Look at it this way: Shang-Chi is what, June, July, and we're in February already.
yeah. I
I'm
think they'll
sorry,
just delay
come on.
stuff again. I've got a feeling that they'll want to delay stuff again. Unfortunately,
This is what I'm thinking, but they can't keep doing this because not because of the movies themselves. You can easily do that, but because we've now got this element of the TV shows and how they coincide and like they live alongside the movies.
yeah, we can't just keep getting TV shows forever. And also the
But the thing
fact
is, we
that,
can't get the TV shows because I mean, what, Black Widow is supposed to link to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that's why
yeah,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, obviously it hadn't finished production, but largely why it's where it is because it links to Black Widow. Um, Hawkeye is supposed to include Yelena, so that's another link to Black Widow. I mean, they can't keep like moving the movies forward because they've got all these other things that they need to release.
it will become really messy with how they release all the. It's like you said ages ago. It wasn't on the podcast, but about how Morbius is coming out. That one's before Venom, or was it the other way around?
I think they fixed it now because they postponed Venom. But back in last year's lockdown, yeah, I think they postponed Morbius or something, and it was then coming after Venom, which it was supposed to be before or something.
Yeah, they were gonna like link, like post
Yeah, and
credit
it was
scene or
they're
something.
supposed to link or something. Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, I think Marvel and Disney would be making a huge mistake by either not releasing it on Disney Plus day and date with cinemas, or just postponing the entire thing. I think either way would be a huge mistake.
Mm-hmm. See, look,
Because
you can't just keep postponing stuff forever because there'll be no end. You'll be like, when is this actually gonna come? And Black Widow's lost a bit of its hype. Like, it's not the most interesting story in the MCU that's coming out at the moment, really. Compared to like WandaVision, which has it could go anywhere. It could go into the multiverse. Like, that's more interesting than like a spy film for the MCU at this point.
yeah, although to be fair, I have been shilling this film since its announcement.
Oh no, I don't doubt that it won't be a good film. Like,
But what you're saying is for the casuals, like they're like, oh, cool. This has got loads of like Avengers people that I know, and this character in this movie about her is dead.
exactly.
You know,
It's like a step back, but maybe they do need to take a step back to go forward because it is introducing new characters to
it
go
is.
forward
It's a
into the
legacy
MCU.
film.
Yeah. It's like if
What
they
it
made an
is,
Iron Man 4 now and we're like, oh, it's like set 5 years ago and it's going to set up Iron Heart or whatever. Like, they won't
yeah,
do that, but it's the same concept.
or like the way Thor: Love and Thunder is in my what I'm guessing is setting up a Jane Foster trilogy rather than another Thor Odinson trilogy.
Yeah, just leave
It's that
4.
kind of
Leave
like
4. I think you
yeah,
should.
it's like that kind of legacy passing on the torch,
Mm-hmm.
and it's important. It's an important film, and I think people don't realize that, and I think Disney do realize that, which is why they're not releasing it on Disney Plus. But at the same time, how many people do you think are going to be able to, because of lockdown restrictions, but B, be willing to take the risk of their own health to go and watch a Marvel movie? They're not going to. It's simple as.
Exactly. So, do you think it's time we move on to our next topic then? I think we spoke
I
about this
think
one a
so. I
lot.
think I feel like we've said our piece. Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights, a game that has been very underpromoted,
Oh
is
God,
now
yeah.
being rumored, or is it confirmed to be a games as a service?
Well,
Oh Lord.
it's a big move. Like a lot of games are going that way. For example, from my personal interest, Call of Duty, that's very much gone down that route in the last couple of games now. It's got the whole seasons model and everything's free, apart from like cosmetic stuff, which is where they make a lot of their money from. Instead of just selling actual content back to you, it's just like DLC and then free stuff. So this is like the same approach pretty much as Marvel's Avengers. Would you say that? Or similar
Yeah.
enough?
I mean, there's a few games like what Monster Hunter, Destiny.
Destiny, yes.
Destiny's a huge one. Battlefront 2, as you say, Call of Duty, especially with Warzone. I think I'm not a huge
Yeah.
Call of Duty buff, but
That's
um,
boosted it a lot.
but the thing is, right, as we mention these other titles, one that really sticks out to me that separates Marvel's Avengers is from a success is Call of Duty having a trusted gaming brand behind it. It's got years of trusted games. People trust that Call of Duty, despite being a games as a service, will provide.
Well,
But people did not trust, what they did not trust was a new Marvel's Avengers game. Regardless of being Avengers, it's untrusted because it's uncharted waters. And this Gotham Knights game, no one's ever seen one before. If this was Gotham Knights 4, fine. If you want to take that jump, fine. Try it out. But this is Gotham Knights, the first in what probably won't be a series, but could have been. And I don't know, man. It scares me because as much as I love Marvel's Avengers, it gives me that same feeling.
would you feel the same if it was like Arkham Knights, like as in
Like if it was
sequel
connected.
to like the actual Arkham trilogy, like directly, like they've addressed it. Like, yes, this is the next one. It's the next chapter. It's not Batman, but it's a sequel. So it was called like Arkham Knights instead of Gotham Knights.
So if it was that and they still announced the games as a service,
Yeah.
I would feel much safer. I don't know why, but I think it has something to do with that trusted. We've had 5 games behind us. Was it 5? No, 4.
4? Yeah, 4.
We've had 4 games
Well,
behind us
I
in
guess
this
it could be
series.
5. There's like a mobile game or something, or like a
Yeah,
PS Vita game. I can't remember, but there's
I
something.
yeah, there was something there, and they've also had an animated movie and comics and all this sort of stuff. It's if they wanted to try a games as a service in this universe, I'd be like, okay, fine, because it doesn't feel like quite as much of a bomb. Then not a bombshell rather, not a bomb, but like because it's already a part of something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like, oh, we're trying this, but it's only one of 5 other games or something, or one of it feels, if the fact that this is standalone and the first in what could have been something, I don't know, it scares me.
It's certainly a risk, and like the way I'm expecting it is that there's not gonna be. It'll be similar to Marvel's Avengers, where there's not too much at launch, and they'll add stuff. But the problem is the quantity of actual content that they put out for the game. Because if they do it Marvel's Avengers style, where they have like I don't know, add new characters or stories and stuff, and
But do
they
you
just,
think they can?
I guess so. It depends where they go with the story. Like if they kill off someone, then no, I guess they can't. But like, I don't think they'll add more characters, but add new missions and like storyline stuff after the game and over the next year. because I don't think that they want it to be a one-time thing for the game. Just the story like Batman. Because since it's games as a service, they want this to last for like at least a year after launch, and it's a multiplayer game. So you can't really just have it as the campaign because it will bomb completely because no one will want to play it afterwards.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, the thing is, as you mentioned with this game, they want it to last because it's kind of the nature of a games as a service. Um, so, I mean, you mentioned adding people. I mean, whether they do or not, we don't know. But I mean, the Bat family is quite extensive, so you would think that maybe Batgirl, Lucas Fox, all these other people got the same call as Nightwing, Tim Drake, Red Hood, and Barbara did. So
Yeah, they're probably just a bit late to the party, but I don't know.
so
I don't
maybe.
know. We'll see. We don't know anything about this game. Like you said, there's no marketing or anything whatsoever. So
But the gameplay that we have seen does remind me a lot of Marvel's Avengers and what they've said about the whole co-op, your friends can jump in whenever they want kind of thing.
yeah, they're very similar
Yeah.
games. Like I'm not sure if they went with this as like, oh, we can rival the Marvel's Avengers game, because they probably thought it was going to be bigger than it was because it's called Avengers, and it
Yeah.
was like riding off the hype train from Endgame, but it didn't quite come out right for most people.
No, no, it certainly didn't.
But I don't think it's a bad game. But let's not talk about Marvel's Avengers. I think that
No, that. I feel like we could go on for hours talking about
I
that
also
game.
think that we've talked about that enough in previous stuff. But you
Yeah.
know our thoughts on it by now. We like it. But I think the Gotham Knights, I just think that they got to market it a bit more. I think games as a service it's a good idea and it is the future of games. Like
Um,
everything's transforming to it. I don't think it's certainly a bad idea because you get the game and you don't have to pay for any DLC or anything unless you want to, and it's only like optional stuff. It's not like gonna ruin your experience. It's always just like
unless it's
credits and
unless it
currency.
did what Destiny did, which I think wasn't it like they had like a certain mission that you
Oh
could
yeah,
only
the
get
first
halfway
the
through.
first one, the first one definitely was, but that was
Yeah,
like
you
just
couldn't
as
get.
this was coming out.
Yeah, that was a mess.
But I
Have to
don't
go
think
through a
you can in the
paywall
new
to
one.
complete a mission.
Yeah, but I don't think you can any. I think that Destiny 2 is like, well, the game is literally free now. You can
Yeah,
literally get the game for free.
which is pretty cool.
Exactly. And
And I
I
know a
also
lot of
think
people
that,
love it.
yeah, definitely. It is a growing game again. Like Battlefront 2, that picked up a lot. We'll make a video on that this week. We got that.
Got that coming.
Got that coming.
Big move.
Or next week. Who knows?
Who knows? We'll figure it out. We'll see when it comes. You'll see it and you'll love it.
You
I
know what
guarantee it.
else is on its way? She-Hulk. Yeah. And we've spoke about the Netflix characters in the past, so do you think Jessica Jones could be coming to She-Hulk?
Maybe, maybe. It's certainly plausible. It's certainly a good idea. I mean, where else any better? What am I looking for? What's the sentence I'm looking for? What better place? There we go. What better place to put these Netflix characters than in a show centered around a superhero lawyer? Because these characters, more than any other sort of Marvel hero, probably need lawyers, and
Yeah.
and and you could see the connection with the whole Jessica Jones being a private eye, and the connection between a lawyer and a private detective. Like you can see where they could go with it, and I think that it would be fantastic. And I would only hope that they would expand upon that. I mean, She-Hulk for me seems like it could run multiple seasons. I only hope that they expand that through Daredevil, Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Punisher.
Oh god, yeah, Daredevil. He'd definitely be the most. I'd say he's the most chance of appearing in this show, just because of they literally have the exact same job. They're
I
both
mean,
lawyers.
yeah,
Yeah, but I don't know. I think bringing back the Netflix characters should they should just do it. And what better time in these other shows? Like, it wouldn't be hard to write them in to the
it
MCU at this point. Like, there's a lot of places that they could have been.
I mean, I know it's been many, many, many years, especially with the 5-year time jump, since we last saw these characters.
They could have been
Um,
snapped.
they could have been snapped. Some could have, some couldn't have. So therefore, you save some time on that. Um, Daredevil, that ended with Daredevil kind of coming back as Daredevil and as Matt Murdock. It was the sort of rebirth of the character. Um, Punisher, he just kind of he became the Punisher a bit more full time. Luke Cage, he became like a crime lord of Harlem. Iron Fist, he was gonna investigate some shit in Kunlun, and he was trying to like find out the powers of such and such, and he had like the guns and the double fists and all that sort of stuff. And Jessica Jones, I'm not entirely sure of because I only watched the first season because I heard bad things about the second and third. But from what I hear, it wrapped up quite nicely. So would it be hard to transition these characters? I don't think so. I think it would be incredibly easy.
Yeah, definitely. I think that if they, oh, the problem is they wouldn't be able to put these like their shows on Disney Plus because it's a Netflix thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But as long as they can acknowledge them and say like these are in the MCU, but you can't watch it on our stuff. Go watch it on Netflix if you have it. Well, don't say that because that'll lose them some money. But you get what I mean. You get what I mean.
I
It'll
get what
be
you mean. I
easy.
get what you
It'll be
mean.
so easy for them to just bring these characters back, and there's certainly demand. Like
Oh, massively, massively.
maybe not Jessica Jones, but Daredevil. Daredevil is like the fucking icon of this revolution of bringing back these characters.
I think he's at the center of all of it. If you can put Daredevil in Spider-Man, if you can put Jessica Jones in She-Hulk, if you can put like even a mention of Kunlun and the Iron Fist in Shang-Chi, and you can throw Luke Cage in wherever. You could even make a Disney Plus Heroes for Hire show with him and Danny. If you slowly start to input them in different places, you will easily be able to bring them back. But what I have heard, and I can't remember the source, I can't remember the credibility, but what I have heard is that they will be bringing these characters back. They will kind of, but not really, be the same versions. They will be able to acknowledge things that happened in the past of the show, but they won't be able to acknowledge each other, as in the Defenders,
Ah, okay.
which to me is like, but why though?
It's a
And it
weird
just
one.
makes things stickier.
I'm sure Feige's considered this stuff. I'm sure. Like big Papa Feige, he knows what he's doing. And when they asked him about Daredevil, he was like, "Who knows?" I think his answer was his good old Feige, "Yes, but no."
I'm telling you, but I'm not telling you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Um,
his usual answer for this stuff. That's when he
but
asked
the thing
about
is,
Daredevil, I think.
I love Feige, and of course, I have got the Marvel sniper to my head right now, so I might have to duck under my desk for a quick minute. But the thing is about Feige, I love the guy. I love him. Um, but he doesn't seem to like what he hasn't touched.
Ah, yeah. Although, who knows what's happening in Spider-Man 3, but I'm sure that's not directly under his control as much as he'd like anyway.
Oh no, Sony have got him by the bollocks there, but
Yeah.
I'm sure if it was down to him, Spider Verse it would be coming, but a little bit more down the road than Spider-Man 3.
Like, he still works on that stuff. Maybe not their new stuff like Venom, but he certainly worked on Amazing Spider-Man. Well, I I don't know how
He gave
much
advice.
influence he had, but he was
He gave his
sort of
notes, but they trashed him.
yeah. He also was like executive or just a producer on the Raimi films as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he wouldn't mind going back to that stuff, and he knows that it'll make them money. Like, there's people who are still like, I don't like the Marvel MCU stuff. Wow, Sam Raimi films, give me. But like,
God, I hate
if
those
they
people.
bring him back, everyone will go see it. Like, I'm not saying it's gonna be a massive box office thing because who the fuck knows what's happening with that stuff at the moment, like we said earlier. But it would make them money. Not as much as Endgame, of course, or probably not as much as half of their other stuff, but still, it would be successful for them, even if the film is a bit messy and, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Thing is though, like you already know that if Daredevil's in Spider-Man 3, Sony is gonna promote the shit out of that. There's no secrets with Sony in their promotion.
Yeah, that's true. Like
You
they
know, they're
can't
like
leave
on every
secrets.
single poster on their crappy posters that they put out, like that weird Homecoming one. You already know it's going to be like Daredevil, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. Literally every character that appears in the film is
And
going
then
to be there.
Tom Holland's just in it in the corner, and like all the MCU characters are shoved in the corner, and then there's like, here's our stuff though, and
It's
Daredevil,
like,
of
hey, hey,
course.
hey, look at us. Hey, 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 guess what we
Yeah,
got? Hey,
it's
hey, 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 hey,
exactly
hey,
like
look.
that. It is exactly like that.
Hey, don't worry about the other stuff. Look at us. Look at us.
Yeah, fucking they put a big cross over like Happy and stuff, and they've just put him in the corner. It's...
I'm just imagining some like really morbid like crosses over the eyes.
They've got like sniper
No
targets on them.
happy for you.
No, but look, Tobey Maguire. Look at him here.
He's gonna do the dance. We're gonna pay him 10 million to come and do the dance.
Oh no, that's literally what it's gonna be, and you already know it.
It's all he does. They just pay him 10 mil. He's like, fine, I'll do the dance.
They released the
Give me
trailer, and at
fucking
the end
suit.
they just put the fucking dance in it. Because why not? Like on a loop for like
Tony.
20 seconds.
Oh man.
As long as they have a line in the film about him dancing, I'm fine with it.
I mean, hey, could you imagine? Because we don't know what they're up to.
Oh.
So could you imagine Andrew Garfield comes in and he's got the symbiote and he's like, Toby's like, oh no.
No. He's like, don't you dare dance. Don't you dare do it.
I could honestly see that being a line, like, don't you dare dance.
You just see him like putting his hands together slowly and like rolling his arms around and just like, no.
Dig on this.
See, Tobey Maguire walks back into the portal. He's like Doctor Strange. He's like to Doctor Strange, like, take me back now. Let me go.
He's like,
I don't want to.
Man, I ain't getting paid enough for this shit.
Oh.
Anyway, before we go too off topic, because I feel we already have, moving on. Michael B. Jordan down to return in Black Panther 2.
And also, Wakanda series coming. You know, Black Panther, they intertwine.
Fuck it, let's move to two topics. Yeah, why not? So, Michael words.
Michael B. Jordan. Michael B.G.
Michael B.G. He's down. He's down to return. I don't know who he is, but he's down to return.
He's never been in something before.
He's
like Mark Ruffalo.
He's never been
returning as Hulk. Returning as Killmonger. Michael B.G.
So, that brain fart, at least it's over. He's down to return for Black Panther 2. So, what are you thinking? What are you thinking of this?
Can I just say, I've never watched Black Panther properly. I fell asleep. I was watching it, and then I fell asleep, so I gotta get around to rewatching it again. But I know he's an important character, like, very important character.
Oh no, so this kind of like...
This is not my forte.
This is a bit of a fun topic, because you haven't seen... Do you know he dies?
I know he dies, yes.
But you haven't seen how he dies, and it's beautiful, and this is why I'm so
Is this in the
apprehensive.
big CG battle thing?
Basically, he gets injured in that, but then, I mean, that is awful. I think we can all agree that's fucking horrendous. But what happens afterwards when he gets stabbed or something, I can't quite remember. I haven't seen the film in a while. I haven't really been able to bring myself to watch it, in fact. I mean, the passing of Chadwick really just, too sad to kind of watch the whole movie. But from what I can remember, and it has been a few years now, is that he gets impaled or something, and T'Challa brings him out onto this like sort of like mountain peak or whatever, something, and he's looking at the sunrise or set, and he's talking something about the slaves and like why he did this, and like the like all this sort of like this heavy shit, man, and it's really quite beautiful. And he's like I think T'Challa's like, I can save you or something. He's like, no, let me die. Let me die with my ancestors, with my, with all the slaves and all the people who worked hard to, and suffered to get me where I am, or something like that. And it really is a beautiful death. So that's why I'm so apprehensive to bring him back. For me, would sort of undo that.
So he's kind of that, like, he let me die until the next film where I can get my next payday.
Let me die, but
Pay me.
maybe we can talk about 10 mil.
Maybe Feige. Is this the way to Feige's office?
No, we don't do that here.
No. I honestly, like I said, I've not watched it all the way through properly, but I mean, if he dies, I mean, the MCU, they can retcon fucking anything they want. I'm sure Feige's like, yo, I'll just bring him in through a portal and he can appear. No more. Doctor
What,
Strange.
like multiverse or something?
Yeah, they can do what they want. I mean, that would not be the best idea, but I'm sure they could just write it in like fucking the universe. I don't know once because I'm sure how they'll write in about Chadwick.
Mm.
I'm sure they'll write it in that he didn't die in the MCU, but got went missing or whatever that happened in the comics. Like they'll do something similar, won't they?
Yeah, like there was like a whole run about Shuri trying to search for
Mm-hmm,
T'Challa or
mm-hmm.
something.
Like that. They'll go something like that, and then I think that I don't know, like some entity magical thing is like, Wakanda needs a new king. Bring this guy back,
Maybe they
etc.
just chilled him. It's like T'Challa kind of like he when he died, he was kind of like, listen, he may not want to come back, but someday we might need him back. Put him
Yeah.
on ice, and we'll, if we need him one day, we'll give him some like heart-shaped herb or whatever that thing is called, and we'll bring him back if we need him
I'm
someday.
sure Shuri could work her fucking magic on him. Like, she was working on Vision, and that was literally the one of the Infinity Stones. So
And it was like, oh yeah, this is Vision. You're working on him now. Oh okay.
okay, fine, yeah. Like she almost did it as well. He just disappeared. He just
Didn't
walked
he fuck
off.
off to save Wanda or something?
Yeah, he just flew
If he
off.
hadn't done that, he could have still been alive.
Exactly, and then Wandavision wouldn't have happened, which is bad because it's good. So
It's
we
good. It's
don't
very
want
good.
it. So I'm happy he's dead.
Wow, that's cold.
But do you think that he could appear in the Wakanda series then? Do you think that's... It depends. Would that be before Black Panther or after or before the first one maybe? Like set
Well, I think there's not much news about it,
it's
but
brand new. It's like today that
from
this
what
news
I've
came out.
read, is I think it's Ryan Coogler's, and if those of you who don't know, he's the director of Black Panther and Black Panther 2. Ryan Coogler, I think his production company or his television company or something like that, they've signed some sort of contract deal, 5 years or something with Disney, and that was like a bit of sub news led us on to the whole Wakanda drama series coming to Disney Plus, which is cool that it's a drama. I like that. And I'm glad it's Wakanda based, obviously, because a lot of people's complaints with Black Panther 1 was, well, we got this big place and it's wonderful, but we've seen nothing of it.
Oh yeah, it takes that's what I remember from it. It takes place mostly not even in Wakanda.
There's a lot outside of Wakanda, I will
Yeah.
say, but what we do see is like a lot of the same. You got that fighting waterfall place, you've got that underground train place, and you've got the palace and a bit of green field, and
My
that's it.
but my question is, have they got a Starbucks yet?
Yes,
Hmm. That would be
like
interesting.
everywhere else, like every fucking where
Every
else.
corner there's a Starbucks.
I'm
It's
not
basically
joking,
real
guys.
life.
I mean, in the town that me and Will live in, you cannot turn a corner without a coffee shop.
True.
It's
And
insane.
Starbucks, there's like 10 of them.
There's like 10 Starbuckses, like 3 Costas, and a Pret a Manger.
There's a lot of shit. There's a
There's
lot
a
of
lot
shit.
of coffee shops, man. Jesus Christ, people, make a coffee at home.
Make a coffee.
Or drink tea. You're British. What are you doing?
Oh. So, I
But
think that
anyway.
if they're making this Wakanda series like a drama, then it'd be a lot more grounded. And that's again, like people like I said about Black Widow, people are more getting invested in this whole multiverse, time travel, reality stuff compared to the more grounded stuff. So I think it'll be like a much more fresh return to more like the roots of the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we don't really see. I hope we could see like maybe Nakia or something. But other than that, I hope in this series we don't see anyone from the movies.
New characters
New
only.
characters. Give me
Like,
new
okay,
characters that
maybe
I
we
can
see
get.
them, but not like main characters in the show.
No,
Well,
we
like
see
literally
like
none
yeah,
at
like
all.
we see like Nakia for an episode or two. That she's gonna help them out with something, or like Okoye's passing by with something or
No,
whatever.
but if it's set in the past of the MCU, then surely they'll have like at least one character from Black Panther in it. Like,
Is it set in the past?
I don't know, but I'm just, for example, if it was set in the
Oh right,
past, uh, I'm not sure how he's doing these days, but the guy who played what's his name, Black Panther's father in,
T'Chaka.
yeah, that's him. I think that's him anyway. I don't know, like he could appear like one episode, like on the screen or something.
I mean, it really does depend on where it's and when it's set, as you say. But I would imagine it'd be modern day because they're trying to flesh a lot more of that out. But I would
Ah,
not be opposed to seeing some of Wakanda's past. That would be cool. I always love when we dive into something of the past. Um, Agent Carter is a wonderful example of that. I think that was lovely, a lovely way to flesh out the MCU and that time period and that sort of Captain America thing. So, should they want to set this in the past, then that'd be great. Yeah.
yeah. So, do you think that this could be Finding Wakanda, the series from Spider-Man? You remember that? On like the
Um,
plane, when he's on the plane, they're looking through like the films and stuff.
oh,
There's one
oh,
called
right.
Finding Wakanda.
I mean, I believe that's a documentary, but I would love to. You know what? I was thinking the other day when I was watching Far From Home, I was like, I would love to see them make all these, just like full on, seriously commit to it, make it a proper documentary, but just set within MCU canon.
Well,
Just treat us as an audience as if we were in the MCU, and just make a doc. That'd be sick.
there's literally one series called Nova. So,
Mm.
that's got fucking Eric Selvig in it. He's
It
still
has, yeah.
around. Is he
I
gonna?
mean, he
Do you
might be
think he?
dead.
Oh, he could. I
He
I
could be.
don't
I
know.
don't. I'm just guessing. He could be like, oh, he died of a heart attack. I don't
Um,
know. I
there's a
don't
lot
know.
of interesting stuff in that film. Like all of those series and stuff that was on there, pretty cool. So
Yeah, it was, to be fair.
that's again, that's like the cool Easter eggs that the MCU a lot of people like for, and they're really
Yeah.
good. But
But
anyway,
speaking of Disney Plus shows, let's get on to our little spoiler cast talk of WandaVision that we were supposed to.
WandaVision.
But yeah, the hopes was a few weeks ago that we would be able to do this as and when each episode comes out. Like for the podcast, we would episode 1, 2, 3, 4, but we've had some complications, so we're picking up from episode 4. I think you've got enough of our views on the previous 3. So, Will, what do you think of episode 4? Because this one was a vast contrast
Oh god, yeah,
to the other episode.
It is getting way more MCU, like what you'd expect now.
This
Like
is very
all
MCU.
the lads are here. You got Jimmy Woo, who is the best character. I'm not even backing down from that. He's doing his card tricks that he learned. And you've got Darcy. Is that her name?
Darcy, yeah,
Yeah,
Darcy.
I've only watched 4 once, and I can't remember her name because she was like one of my least favorite characters in the film. But oh
She
well.
was the sidekick who had a sidekick.
Exactly. She was like Jar Jar Binks of that film.
I mean,
Not
yeah.
not saying that she's like a bad actor. I just don't think that she had enough to do in the film. But
But
oh well,
I
she
had a
can do
great time
stuff now.
watching her
Oh yeah,
in WandaVision.
oh yeah. Like she's really important to the story of that. Like how everyone else actually learned about what's happening. She was the one that came up with like the TV and stuff. So
Mm.
without her, this narrative wouldn't be progressing very much. And got the new guy. I've forgotten his name. You mentioned him in the video the other day. The new leader of Sword, who you think is a scroll,
Let's just
maybe.
call him that. Let's just call him that guy.
Oh yeah, I can't remember his name.
I don't
Do
know.
you want to talk
I'll,
about
I'll
him while I find his name?
I was gonna say I could Google it, but yeah, you check it out.
Okay, I'm on it.
Yeah, I was saying to Will the other day. I mean, I said in the video that I don't trust him one bit, but I was saying to Will that he reeks of Skrull. I think he's a Skrull. He just has that look. He has that feel. He has that sort of, I don't know. There's something about him that kind of reminds me of Ben. Is it not Ben Mendelsohn?
Yeah,
What's his name?
Wait, do you mean the guy from Rogue One?
Talos.
Oh, Talos. Yeah,
Well,
I'm pretty
Ben
sure that's Ben
Mendelsohn.
Mendelsohn.
Is it?
I'm fairly certain it is.
Um. Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn. Of his character, not Talos, but like the character he was playing
Mm-hmm.
in Captain Marvel. Like he has that sort of vibe about him. I know there's something more to him, even if he's not a Skrull. There's something more to that character. We just have, well, not we, people just haven't figured it out yet. I know there's something up with him. I don't trust him one bit.
I mean,
So
they've literally written scrolls in front of you in the episode, like
exactly, they're telling you something's up.
most definitely. And
Jimmy Woo is telling you there's something up, and if he tells you, you better trust him
yeah,
because he's a magician
like
now.
he knows he's thinking the exact same stuff that we are, and that's amazing. That like before it came out, they knew what we'd be looking at.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, well, that's the power of this. It really does feel like Marvel Studios or the people behind this at least really do get us and get what we would be paying more attention to. And they understand that fans are now so invested that we do, like me and you or New Rockstars or Comic Book Cast, that we do break things down piece by piece and we look at these little things and we have our theories.
Oh yeah. So going forward a bit, like to the end of the series, this isn't really gonna have many like world breaking consequences because, as you mentioned to me earlier, that it's set before Spider-Man: Far From Home, and
Yeah, that's
I mean, Sony like they aren't amazing with their timeline stuff, as we know from the last
no.
couple of Spider-Man films.
I
But
mean, it kind of makes sense because well, let's place it this way. Endgame Final Battle is in October. This is 3 weeks afterwards, so that places it, let's say, November. Spider-Man: Far From Home is 8 months. They say it's 8 months ago. The Avengers, whatever. So it's summer 2024. 8 months. What is that? What's the
July-ish.
sixth month of the year? July.
Wait, 6th or 7th?
Sixth month of the year.
June.
June. Then Spider-Man. It takes place in June. You could push July maybe, but I don't know. So I mean, yeah, 8 months is a sort of two
I mean,
weeks
it does
forward,
make
8 months
sense for that
forward.
film. Like, it's not like they're breaking everything because in that film you can clearly see it's like summer in when he's up in the Netherlands. It's very
Yeah,
clearly
it's a
summer.
summer vacation,
Yeah, it's definitely not like breaking that film, but
which kind of weirdly contradicts what they say in terms of like, oh, they had to make us restart midterms. It's like, yeah, but now you're at the end of the year, so why are you
yeah,
complaining? Why are you complaining now? you know, you should be complaining at the start of the year.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um, but yeah, this is an interesting thing, and it was really cool to see it open up on the reverse snap, the
yeah.
blip
I
or
wasn't
whatever.
expecting that at all, honestly.
But it was so cool though because like it shows rather than like what with Far From Home where it played it up for gags. It was very traumatic. Like there are people just showing up anywhere and everywhere, and people don't know how to deal with it. It's just like people are just turning up, and these
Yeah.
people might have been ill before they,
Mm.
before they disappeared. So
Well, they could have
it's
unlocked
cool to see.
like special abilities or genes. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Oh,
Actually, there is one thing I want to know. So, what if you're standing on a particular spot and someone fucking forms around you after they get snapped back?
the Russo brothers said that Hulk snapped them like somewhere safe. Like for example, if they were on a plane and that plane is no longer in the air, they won't just land in a seated position in the
Yeah, but
middle of the
like
air over the
looking
Atlantic Ocean.
look in the hallway of that place. Imagine the doctor was just standing there and a guy like appeared, and then it would just be not nice.
I mean, there's like we see this guy. He's just reversed snapped or something, and he's like he's like in the visiting chair for someone's bed, and like this is 5 years later. That's not who he was visiting, and
Yeah.
she's like, "What the? Who the hell are you?"
Jimmy? Wait, who's Jimmy? Where am I? Who are you? Exactly. But no,
Like,
I
yeah,
like what you were saying. It's clear that this isn't gonna like have any like massive consequences, for at least for like what was happening in Spider-Man. Because I don't know, for example, if Wanda like destroyed half of America by doing something, then that ain't happening. So
unless it does. Think about it this way. I think I've seen people bring this up, and I don't think it necessarily would be, considering Doctor Strange probably wouldn't be busy trying to fix this 8 months later. But people are saying, "Oh, Nick Fury says Captain Marvel off world, Doctor Strange unavailable. Why is he unavailable?
ah,
Well, he's fixing Wanda's mess.
maybe he's in like
So
this like massive like multiverse thing.
maybe Multiverse of Madness is before Far From Home.
Interesting.
So like
And then that's how he
Multiverse of Madness,
knows.
like
Yeah,
he fixed
that's
Multiverse of Madness is like a few months out, like a month after or a few weeks after WandaVision, and then he's still having to deal with it
yeah.
throughout until Far From Home and the next movie.
Yeah, and then that could lead into, because if he's going through the multiverse and ends up, I don't know, like what people are saying that Tobey Maguire might show up in that film as well. Like he's in all the fucking films at the moment apparently. But
I mean,
if he ends up in that film, that could be how he knows to bring him in for the next Spider-Man film.
exactly. So it's like, oh, he's met him before, so he's met another Spider-Man. So it's just a matter of, ah, shit, Pete needs help. What do I do? What do I do?
Ah,
Okay, I know
yeah,
what to do. I found another Spider-Man. Here, help him out.
exactly. And I think that would be an interesting route, and I'd like that just because I want more Tobey Maguire. Because I mean, he's my favorite Spider-Man.
Not to mention that Kevin Feige said the multiverse doesn't end with that that like one show and two film saga.
Oh God,
It
it's like their
it's
next big thing.
it is. It's going to be huge
Easily,
ramifications for years to come.
easily.
The next
Like,
phase, even I would honestly call this phase the multiverse phase or the multiverse saga or something like that,
yeah,
because it's going to be huge going forward.
of course it will. It's like the next big step into what they're trying to form with the MCU.
I
But
mean, yeah,
it's gonna
exactly.
have like difficult, like, because people are just gonna be like, oh, why can't they just go and get Tony from another universe?
That's
Well,
it. So they've got to find some way of explaining it, maybe perhaps in a Spider Verse kind of way, where it's like, oh, but they can't live here. We
yeah.
can't bring Tony in and have, oh yeah, here, this is your new world. Like he will die.
Well, it depends what they do with Cap. Like, if they go with the Cap did live in the main MCU universe and didn't end up in a like create a multiverse, like a separate universe tangent.
But even then, isn't it like timelines and universes are different things.
Oh yeah, but
So
it would
like,
create like a splinter universe. But if they fix it, like whatever he had to do to fix it, and who knows? We don't know. It's a mess with that stuff. But
it is a mess,
they know what they're doing.
but it's only a mess to us because we don't know.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
Like Feige, he knows what is happening. He's just laughing at us. He's like, he literally knows what's going on with everything, and he has the answers that we may never get.
you're right. He's literally laughing, saying either for some things he's saying like, haha, they'll never know, but I do, or he's saying, haha, they'll find out in a few years, but they'll have to
Exactly.
sue for now. Because like thing is, he's got plans up until like 2030. Like I remember back in 2015 or something, hearing the news that MCU's got plans for the next 15 years, and me thinking, whoa,
I'm pretty
fuck,
sure they've
that's a
got their
long
whole
way.
slate ready until 2028. I think I heard.
Or
Like,
something like that. Yeah, I mean they've only announced the next 3 years, but they've got plans for way
and
far.
they've got so much. They've got. I don't know how long the MCU will continue for. Like, not in a bad way. Like, they've got so many characters that they got. They got the X-Men. They've got Fantastic Four. I mean, there's more that obviously that I haven't mentioned now. Like, there's more the Netflix characters that are gonna come back.
I mean, Marvel Comics
It's
gives them
yeah,
near infinite characters at their disposal, plus original characters
yeah,
that they could possibly
exactly.
create.
And new characters that are coming out of the comics at the moment as well. Like Ironheart's pretty new, and they're going already with her at this
And
point.
I wouldn't be surprised by if in 15 years' time the MCU gets to a sort of point where they're like, okay, well, let's bring back Iron Man. It's
Yeah,
not Robert Downey Jr., but here we go. He's another Iron Man, but he's not necessarily going to get his own films, but he's back, and here's Captain America and all these sorts of things. Like,
yeah.
MCU is going to last a long, long time.
And with all these
So,
other like pre-established characters, like the Fox characters, and like as we mentioned many times, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, all these other like characters that have been played by other people in different continuities. Like they've got all them to bring in as well. Like, they've obviously brought back Jameson. They brought back J.K. Simmons as Jameson again.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
he'll probably be in a few. He'll be in the Sony films apparently. Morbius, whatever.
He
Venom.
said he has recorded for things, yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So
true. I mean, that's the thing as well. They've got, like, you're right, they have got the Sony films, which, like it or not, bro, I think we are dealing with a connected universe here. Fuck me.
as long as they put but the Marvel films won't reference them at all, or at least like the other ones won't. Maybe Spider-Man will touch on them, but
I mean, I hope they're multiverse. They feel like they belong in the Tarsem verse.
oh, definitely they do.
But hey, but reining it back a little bit, to WandaVision. There was something that could possibly link to our sort of tangent on expanding the MCU further with other characters. They did mention, and I can't remember the exact quote. I could pull it up, but it would take time. The guy who I don't trust, I can't remember his name. He says about the space mission.
Oh yeah, okay, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how you said that you think they're gonna somehow introduce the Fantastic Four through this stuff because, well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it?
I mean, come on. We know that they're announced. I mean, come on. I wouldn't be surprised if they make that space mission a sword program. Because why would you not? They're the space shield. So even though Shield is very space based anyway, but you know they deal with space, and the Fantastic Four get their powers from a space mission. Why
And
would
if
you
they all
not?
got
It's the
snapped,
perfect connector.
if they all got snapped during that space mission,
That's how maybe they sort of get stuck there and absorb the radiation or something. They find a way to get back or whatever, you
or
know.
like you know how Ant-Man, in the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, gets stuck in the quantum realm, and he's just like everyone that was working, like helping him, gets stuck, gets snapped,
Yeah.
and they're all gone, like something similar to that. But I mean, they don't want to delve on the snap for too long. I don't think. Like it is a massive event, and it's obviously going to drive a lot going forward. But I don't think that they should literally everything that happens for the next little while should revolve around that because they got to
Or
move
else it
on.
just becomes Brexit, and we don't want that.
Yeah, they gotta move on from it. They gotta move on from the snap at some point.
But it is the perfect thing. He was like half of our, the half of our, astronauts snapped. The other half who stayed lost their nerve. I mean, come on,
Yeah,
come on.
it's very
know,
obvious what's happening.
it's
Also, his
very
name
obvious.
is Tyler Haywood. I think that's his name anyway.
Tyler Haywood. Okay, well, I will not remember that, but I'll see what I can do.
Well, he'll be in the next. He'll be in the MCU. He'll be in other stuff, obviously.
He feels like the kind of, if he was a part of, he feels like the kind of character, like if he was a part of Shield, he would be one of the Hydra Agent Shield members.
Oh, okay, yeah, I feel that now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I get you.
the vibe I get is that kind of, I'm
I
not
get
with
you.
you.
Yeah,
So, there's that. And then what else can we talk about before we wrap up the podcast? I mean, Photon, there's a little name drop there.
that's probably gonna happen. Like I said about mystical genes and stuff being unlocked. I'm sure, but like I said, I mean, I don't want the snap to cause everything, but it would be a good way for this whole like X gene to or whatever. How does she get her powers again? You mentioned it the other day.
It's not an X gene
X gene,
thing.
yeah,
It's
but
I think she
She absorbed
gets
like
exposed to
some
some sort of radiation or
space
something.
energy thing.
I think so. I sent it on the chat. Let me quickly check while you distract the people
I'm pretty
with
sure that's what you
with a
said anyway.
do a magic trick. People will love it.
Hocus pocus. Brandon will find what he's looking for.
I doubt it.
No, but I'm
um,
pretty sure that's what you said anyway.
I think it was. I think it was like she absorbed some sort of radiation, and then she got the powers of like, oh, I can shoot energy or something. Ah, there we go. No, no, I haven't found it. Never mind.
Okay, well, we'll ignore it. We're close anyway. I'm sure people don't mind.
We're close with it. Yeah, it's pretty much that. It's the radiation thing. It's classic superhero stuff. I absorbed an energy blast. Now I
Now I
can shoot
have
from
power.
my
Yeah,
hands. You know, it's that kind of thing.
definitely.
So I wouldn't be surprised if what she absorbed and the energy she absorbs um Wanda's.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Monica was introduced as the second Captain Marvel. She gained superpowers after being bombarded by extra-dimensional energy. Here we go. Produced by an energy disruptor weapon. But you could change that to extra-dimensional energy produced by Wanda
It
Maximoff.
could be like maybe she is like the key to stopping Westview from this like control they're all under. So maybe she is like at this. You know when you say like people are like at the center of like an explosion
Yeah,
or something. Like maybe she's at the center of stopping Wanda or whatever they're gonna do, and then when when all of the barriers and stuff, I guess in that they'll like be reabsorbed into Wanda, like she'll be there.
yeah.
Like I don't know, she's like holding on to Wanda for some reason. I don't know,
To try
but
and absorb back in or
yeah,
something.
and it's like absorbs into her as well. So
Maybe.
maybe not like a
Yeah.
fatal amount, but we've seen that there is the thing where she's in like the hospital bed, and we haven't seen that in the show yet.
No, very true. So they
And
could like use some sort of like medicine energy bring back to life kind of.
yeah, like maybe she's absorbed all that stuff, and then she's in her bed, and then she's got powers, and then it's like that's the tangent for them to go down in the future, and then they'll
I mean,
continue on
maybe.
with Wanda, Doctor Strange, who I'm like 99% sure that he'll appear in the end of this series.
Hey, as long as I get Pietro, I don't care.
And
But
also,
yeah, you're right. I'm sure he will show up at the end of the show.
it's also really
Um,
disappointing to see that 2 whole episodes got leaked.
yeah, man, I'm staying well away from socials. Well away. And even if I'm going on socials, I'm playing it safe. I'm just doing like a little scroll, seeing what's new.
I'm pretty sure it's all like as long as you don't search for it, you won't see it. Like they got that
Yeah.
covered pretty much.
I think a lot of the people I follow are like, especially on Instagram, I follow a lot of like Marvel and DC and Star Wars geeky news kind of
They're
like
more news though. They
pages.
won't. They won't. They'll be in the same boat as you.
Yeah, I trust that they kind of, even if they do know, they kind of they
Yeah,
have
shush.
enough respect for everyone else to.
Yeah, exactly, and that's good. That's good. So again, end of podcast. Thank you, lads, for watching. Talking of Instagram, links are in the description for this stuff. Brando,
Yes,
continue the rest of the outro.
I could tell you were, I could tell you were struggling there.
I can't remember how it goes.
I was getting real like strong Thor Age of Ultron sort of. I am running out of things to say. Are you ready?
Ah.
So yes, thank you guys very much for listening to the podcast. This has brought us to the end of the show for this week. We hope you enjoyed it. It has been a long time since we've done this, or at least it feels like longer than it's been, at least.
Oh yes.
So, as Will said, all of our socials are in our link trees down below in the description. You can check mine for my Geeks of the Multiverse Twitter and my Instagram. Check Will's for his Twitter and his Twitch, where you can catch him 6 days a week.
6 days a week, apart from Saturdays. Saturdays are day off.
For mainly COD, right?
Mainly Call of Duty, but like sometimes it's very occasionally like other stuff like Minecraft, Rocket League, and like
Marvel's
little other
Avengers.
games like Raft, if you know what that is. I've done that before. And Bug Snacks, if I ever get back to playing that again. And Marvel's Avengers. We always
God, I
stream the
love
Marvel's
Snacks.
Avengers stuff, like
So yeah,
the new stuff.
where you see our playthroughs or his playthroughs, that's from his Twitch. So check that out. It's worth the watch. It's worth the watch.
Oh yeah.
So That's brought us to the end. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye, and yeah, see you next week. Goodbye.